Welcome back to PTI. I'm Brandon Pomper alongside Mason Fullerton and Jason Glick. We're going to be debating in the NBA contenders and pretenders. Let's start with an West team. I'm going to start with the Denver Nuggets. Jason, do you think they are a contender or pretender?
I think the Nuggets are contenders. When you look at their roster, they're getting two big pieces back they didn't have for pretty much all of last season with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. Jamal Murray is one of the best point guards in the league. Right now, he's probably around the top 10 range. He's a great shot creator. He is able to dish out to his teammates in the corner, and he really just brings his offense to a new level. You look at Michael Porter Jr., he's an amazing catch and shoot player for his position. As small forward, he's very, very tall, so he's great to rise above everyone else. He's a great rebounder. He's a very smart player. He knows how to get himself to the bucket. And when you look at the depth on this team, it's really not that bad. When you have guys like Monte Morris, you have KCP. They just traded for Will Barton this offseason. And I really think that this team has a legit chance to get a top 3 to 4 seed and maybe make a push for the Western Conference Finals.
Jason's saying contender for the Nuggets. What do you think?
It's got to be pretender. I mean, really, I 4 seed in the West. The West is, in my opinion, stronger than the East currently. I mean, you got teams with players like John Morant who are changing the game as it is and are the future of the NBA. I could see maybe a 5th seed, but they are not going to get past the second round as they haven't in most playoff series as we've seen recently. I just don't think Michael Porter and them. I just don't think they're as strong as teams that they're going to go against, at least in the second round. I mean, you have players in the West like Curry, Clay, Draymond. You got, like I just said, Ja. You have the Lakers, even, they might be struggling, but still, you have the Lakers. And I think the Timberwolves could even be over them. It might sound ridiculous, but I just think that Timberwolves have a better chemistry. I mean, they almost beat the Grizzlies in their series, came to Game 7. And I just think, you have Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. I just think, there's other teams that have more strength and depth than the Nuggets.
I mean, yeah, there's no doubt that the Timberwolves had a productive offseason. They brought in Rudy Gobert to play alongside Karl Anthony Towns. They still have D'Lo and Anthony Edwards. At the end of the day, I think what brings them down is the coaching. I think they have Ryan Saunders currently as their head coach, and he's not bad, but we compare to like the Nuggets with Mike Malone. I think that is a huge difference. Mike Malone is one of the best coaches in basketball right now. And I don't think that a team like the Timberwolves is really going to compete with a team like Denver, because Denver is a team who I think can compete with a team like Golden State in the playoffs and maybe force them to a 6 or 7 game series. And the Nuggets are in a perfect spot as their entire roster is pretty much in the prime of their career. We have Jokic in his prime. He's a back-to-back MVP. Jamal Murray is entering, I believe, his age 25 season. Michael Porter Jr. is probably just entering his prime this season, even though he's coming back from injury. And the Nuggets always find a way to be a very deep team. Even though they lost Monte Morris and Will Barton in that KCP trade this offseason, I still think that they are a really good basketball team. They have Bones Highland off the bench, who showed promise to be like Zeke Naji's pretty solid. And I think they have probably more depth and coaching, and that's what really separates the Nuggets from most teams, and that's why they're going to be a contender this season.
I'll just add one more thing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said they could beat a team like the Warriors. The Warriors played teams like to get to the finals and win the finals, like the Suns, like the Suns, like the Mavericks, like with Luka. I mean, and then also beat the Celtics, which, you could argue that Jason Tatum might not have been the top of his game in the finals, but still, the Warriors still are honestly probably the best team in the West, and I just think that, honestly, if you have a team like the Nuggets playing at least the Warriors to try to get into the finals, it's not going to happen until they get another star on that team.
All right, one final word from you, Jason.
I mean, the Nuggets, they were not healthy last year when they lost to the Warriors, and they still somehow won a game against them with no Jamal Murray and no Michael Porter Jr. It was literally Jokic versus a God squad, and he couldn't do anything. The Denver Nuggets are much improved from where they were at the end of last season. They have more depth, and they're going to be refreshed. They have more star play out there, which they did not have last year. Everyone's a year older, a year smarter, and I think at the end of the day, the Denver Nuggets are a team that's capable of forcing an elite team to a 6 to 7 game series. Not necessarily winning it, but if they have the chance to play a team like Golden State, there's no way they're getting swept or losing in 5, because they have the depth, They have defensive pieces, and they can honestly shut them down for a good 2 to 3 games.
All right, that's going to do it for PTI. For Jason Gleck and Mason Fullerton, I'm Brandon Popper.